This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Bedfred. Delighted to be joined, been a while, with Vidal Riley. We're here at Troxy ahead of the KSI-LOGAN Pool 2 press conference. First off, Vidal, how are you? Nice to see you.
I'm good. And the best content that we could have had for this channel has never been recorded.
Yeah, we were talking about that off camera. For those people who have seen the interviews that we've done with Vidal in the past, the best stuff that we've ever done, we didn't actually record. So maybe we've got a podcast potentially dropping soon.
I'd like to do that. That'd be fun.
So, Vidal, talk to me about this fight. I mean, well, first of all, talk to me about the making of the fight. Obviously, the first fight was, I think, contentious draw. Talk to me about the process of the first fight coming into the second fight.
So, the first fight was interesting for us because we didn't have much information on Logan, and we could have kind of just make assumptions on how he would fight. We saw a little snippet of him on TMZ, wasn't enough to make anything of it, so we was going into the first fight very blind. He was going in watching previous footage of KSI and had a base of what to do, and that made the fight difficult and ultimately led to a draw, which I think was a fair result, to be honest.
First fight was an amateur fight, or well, it was a white collar-ish, white collar kind of level. Now it's a professional fight. You're a professional fighter. Yeah. Explain to people who maybe don't know the difference, how much of a difference it's going to be from the first fight to the second fight.
Well, you know, having no head guards, smaller gloves, it's not a joke. People literally, especially at cruiserweight, they're fighting at cruiserweight limit. People get put to sleep. You don't need to have technique to knock someone out. You just need to hit him in the right place, and that's why this fight's dangerous, because we got two guys in there that are using the same tools as people who've been perfecting their craft for years. After having two white collar fights, they're in the same gear, which is dangerous, and that's why this fight will end in a knockout. And I predict it's a KSI round 5-1. Said that a bit early, but yeah, I had to get in.
What have you said to JJ? Obviously, in your role as trainer and somebody who has been hit by 10-ounce gloves, what have you told him in preparation for that? Because it seems to me like it's maybe something that you're not going to know until you actually get hit.
Defense. A lot of our camp has been set around defense, because I need to know that he can take minimal punches and give maximal. Whereas amateurs, sometimes with a head guard, big gloves, it can be give and take. As pros, you don't want to be doing much taking. You want to do the giving. So it's like, how do we do the giving? Love you too, man. Yeah. And then sorry, I hate that stuff, man. Sorry. All right. But yeah, it's about defense, so you can take less, give more. That's what I do.
How is your preparation going to change from this fight? Now you've actually you mentioned the fact that you didn't know much about Logan beforehand. You've seen 6 rounds as close as you can possibly see. How does that change your preparation for this fight?
The preparation for this fight is easier in the way of we know what he's going to bring. We know what his strengths are. We know what his weaknesses are. Obviously, his weaknesses can become better, but most fighters' weaknesses stay weaknesses for quite a while. So,
doing very well to ignore the call out. So he's getting
a lot going on, if you can see behind Rob here. But yeah, so we know how to prepare. We know his style. Plus, we know his trainer. You know, if you know someone's trainer, you can kind of get an insight into how they think. And we know Shannon Briggs has taken a more serious role in this camp, and we know how Shannon thinks. And my trainer Jeff used to train Shannon, so we know how Shannon thinks, and that gives us an advantage.
How important is it for you? I mean, as I understand, you're going to be taking JJ out to work with Jeff, and obviously you've got a very experienced team behind you. How much of a benefit is that going to be for him?
It's going to be a huge benefit for him, because as much intel as you can get, as much knowledge as you can get from experienced people within the industry, the better off you will be. You know, if you was trying to be a musician, the more people that you know that own studios and labels, the more successful you'll be. So it's the same for us with this camp. It's like knowing Jeff, Coach Larry, who we just saw train Sean Porter for the Errol Spence fight, and look at that conditioning. Look at Sean Porter's conditioning. You know, JJ's going to be training with that same guy. I train with him too, and it's just a blessing to have that team that strong around someone who isn't going to realize until later on in life how lucky he was. But yeah, I'm excited for that, and that's on Saturday, so let's bring it on. Let's do it.
Before we talk about this press conference, which I'm sure is going to be eventful, should we say, let's talk about the first press conference. That, for a lot of boxing fans, for a lot of our viewers, that would have been the first time they've really been exposed to this kind of setup, as it were. What did you make of the first press conference, and what can we expect to see today?
I think the first press conference was typical. You know, Logan would play the annoying character that he does, try and get under JJ's skin, don't give anyone else a chance to talk, and just annoy everybody. Like, he done what I expected him to do. I expect him to stay calmer for a bit longer before he broke out into that, but he just went like that from the beginning. So nothing new. I told JJ to stay calm, sit down, don't go up and back and forth like Mayweather and McGregor. Just sit down, hold your corner, say what you need to say, let's go home. And so I think like the first press conference was mature from us, immature from them. And today we'll see Logan out of his comfort zone. And remember, we were talking about off camera about, you know, certain characteristics. Out of his comfort zone, he tends to fold. And the security here is terrible.
What do you think about that guy that first hit? Let's go, champ. Shit idiot today.
Yeah, shout out to all my fans and subscribers. But yeah, so today we'll see him fold. I don't think he will sit till the end. I think the crowd will not give it to him. We got rowdy East End kids here. Let's be realistic. We're not in the best area. And the personality of the kids here are going to show their love for us and their hate for them.
You mentioned certain characteristics within Logan. What are they, if you don't mind elaborating on them?
He's an on-top person. You know, he likes to be in control. And every characteristic and everything in life has its plus and its minus. So his rise has been so rapid because he likes to be in control and he likes to really set his mind to something and achieve it. You know, to gain 18, 19 million subscribers in like 2-3 years, that's not an everyday thing. That's because he set his mind to it. And that makes Logan dangerous because anything he puts his mind to, he seems to be good at. But on the downside of that, when things are not going your way, how do you deal with adversity? If you're used to being on top all the time and you're not used to facing the music, how do you face it? And we'll see that story in the ring.
Mentioned Shannon Briggs' name. You and him had a little bit of exchanging some pleasantries. Talk to me about that. There's still rumours surfacing that you may meet in the ring. Clear that up for me if you can.
If Shannon Briggs can fit in a t-shirt that is medium to large by November the 9th, I'll fight him. Simple as that. If he can't, it won't happen.
Does him being there in kind of his own way make the fight bigger? I know you kind of play. You're not the type of person to really engage in the back and forth, but do you understand that him bringing that kind of Shannon Briggs-ness will just serve to make the event bigger?
What, today or for the fight? In general, it makes it more annoying. Like, let's be real, man. Like, the guy shouts 3 words in the whole of the English language. Like, yeah, but he is a personality, and you know, most people know him for being that guy as opposed to being heavyweight champion of the world. So clearly he's having more success now by being this personality because that's what people know him for. So Shannon, I give him his credit. He makes himself relevant. Well, I nearly said the wrong thing there. I make him relevant. But at the same time, yeah, he does bring something to the event.
Okay, well, just finally before we get going, a couple of things I'd like to run past you. You are a very established former amateur and now unbeaten professional fighter. So let's get a few little bits and pieces on some fights that are coming up. First and foremost, Canelo versus Kovalev. That's about a month away. What do you make of that? Canelo jumping up to 175 pounds.
I think Canelo wins the fight. I think that Canelo is the favourable fighter, and if it goes the distance, he'll get the decision. And I think that if Kovalev goes to knock Canelo out, he's going to get caught in the middle, and we know his punch resistance is gone. So I think Canelo wins the fight.
It's only a week before this fight. Maybe make a little venture over to Vegas?
We're going. We're there, man. We're there. So you're there, right? You're there. All right, then we're there. Let's party. Let's go.
No partying. It's the week before the fight.
Listen. Different types of parties. Different types of parties.
Okay, just finally, what update have you got on your own career? When can we expect to see you back in the ring?
So I'm very close to signing a promotional deal. So far as a pro, I've had a management deal, but now we've got to the point where we're looking for the right promoter, and we seem to nearly be there. So 28th of December, I look to be out, hopefully in New York, and we'll let the career continue.
Okay, well, we look forward to it. VIDDAL Riley, always a pleasure. I'm really glad to have caught up with you. Just before you go, there are a lot of people here to see you and watching your videos. Give them a shout out, and where can they continue to watch you? You've got more subscribers than us. Why am I letting you?
No, because I need new ones. Yeah, that's how we get the milli. Now, all right, cool. Everyone that's out there supporting me, thank you. For every person that says I'm not a legit boxer and I'm just a YouTube coach, there's 100,000 people that think I'm amazing. So I love it. Keep subscribing. The realest channel on YouTube, Unboxing Social.
VIDDAL Riley, thanks very much.
No problem.
Cheers, man. That was great. Nice one.